You ever felt like the more you got to know a guy, the less interested he seemed to be in you? You thought sharing more of yourself would bring you two closer together, only to realize he ended up ghosting you. You see, the thing about it is, this has a lot more to do with what you're saying than you even realize. Which is why on today's show, we're going to discuss 7 statements that make you look valueless. That way, you can be more aware of how you're presenting yourself and how to elicit a deep, continuous desire out of the men you're dating. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say you're present. And if my voice isn't unnecessarily deep or weird, please say you're good now. Okay. Thank you so much for you guys being patient. I think those who are on TikTok got like a little special presentation of me hearing my voice. I was just ranting, speaking to myself while I was figuring this all out. So those of you who kind of stayed and waited probably got some funny clips of me talking. Okay, sorry about that. I restart my computer and my router every time before I get going, but sometimes I still have issues. These are part of the things that as the show goes on that I'm going to be building out, getting a new computer so that all these glitches don't happen as much. Okay, so let's get started. We'll jump right into it since we're running a little bit late here. Number one, first, actually, I did bring you guys some props. So I actually do want you, despite the technical difficulties, I want us all to be paying attention because this is actually going to be the basis of everything we do here. Okay. So before we get started, we need to all have a clear understanding of what value actually is. Okay. Now, I know when you're thinking of value, you're probably thinking, okay, quality. You're thinking, okay, how good something might be, how expensive something might be, what someone is willing to trade in or give for that particular object, okay? Let's all come to a clear understanding of what value actually means and why it means that thing, okay? So I'm gonna give you guys an example and I want everyone to participate here because we have props, all right? So hope this can fit on my, on the TikTok screen. The YouTube screen is a lot more widescreen. Okay, so here I have a large black box. Okay, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, what does this have to do with anything? Don't worry, we're gonna get going. We're gonna get going here. Okay, so in one hand, I have a large black box. In my second hand, I have a $20 bill. Now, this is a Canadian $20 bill, which is why it looks a little bit funny. Looks a little bit flimsy, doesn't look like an American bill because it's not, okay? I'm a Canadian. And so in one hand is a $20 bill, $20, and in another hand is a big black box in which there is an item in there. My item's still in there. Yeah, my item's still in there, okay? Now, we're gonna play a little game, but I promise you this has to do with everything that we're gonna discuss today, okay? I assure you. First of all, I want you guys to guess what might be in the box. Whoever guesses what's in the box, exactly what's in the box, I will send it to you if you can guess exactly what's in the box, okay? Now, aside from that, so you guys better be putting all your guesses inside the chat there so I can see what you guys are thinking is inside the box, okay? Let me make sure. Okay. Now, no hints. Sorry, no hints. So in this huge black box, I know those of you who are on TikTok can't see everything that's in how big this box is. It's huge, okay? Big, it takes up the whole screen, okay? Now, in this black box is existing an item. In this hand, obviously, is existing a $20 bill. Now, I want you all to choose. Tell me, you have to say it in the chat. Tell me, I'm gonna give you a choice between choosing this $20 bill, okay, in my hand, or choosing whatever is sitting inside this black box. Now, the caveat is, the only catch is, you cannot open the box or see what's inside or get a hint of what's in the box until you choose the box. Okay? So after you make a choice between the box or the $20 bill, that is the only time I will reveal to you what is sitting inside this black box. Okay. So I want everyone in the chat to take their choice of what they're going to choose, and we'll see how this ends up for you. Okay. It's a huge box, so there's lots of possibilities in here. I'll just say it like that. Okay. That's your hint. Lots of possibilities. This box is massive. You can store quite a few things in here. So just keep that in mind. It's not a small box. Okay. And obviously this is $20. It's $20 Canadian. So it's a little bit less than $20 American, but still this can buy you a Big Mac. Okay. A Big Mac meal actually. All right. And large French fries and a drink. It can get you, your stomach will be full off of this $20. You can get something nice for your belly off this $20. Okay. So keep that in mind. I want everyone in the chat to guess. This is very important. This has everything to do with what we're going to discuss today. Okay. I see some people saying the $20 bill, and I see some people saying the black box. Don't cheat if you heard me use this analogy before. Be honest. Okay. Because I know some of you might have heard me use this analogy before. So that's why you might be picking the $20 bill. Okay. So now, very important. I see everyone kind of debating what they're going to choose, what they want. Okay. Now, obviously, you're not going to get to see what's inside the black box. So you've made your choice. Let's imagine that you chose what's in the black box. Okay, so no $20 bill for you. Let's see what's inside this large black box. There is an item. Okay, so let's reveal what is inside this large black box here. All right, what you have earned by choosing the black box instead of the $20 bill. Let's reach inside the black box and let's reveal what you chose. Are you ready? It's deodorant. Specifically, it's used deodorant, used by me on my smelly armpits. That's what you earned by choosing the black box. My used deodorant. I actually didn't see anyone guess deodorant. So that was like the one thing and nobody guessed. There's a lot of possibilities. So for those of you who chose the large black box, you earned yourself a nice used deodorant stick that has been wafting all over my armpit hair. Congratulations. This will be shipped to you immediately. You can smell it. You can put it in your incense. You can put it in your perfume. You can keep this under your bed. It's all yours. My used deodorant. Yay for you. Black box. Okay. So that's what you get if you chose the black box. No $20 bill for you. Now, those of you that chose the $20 bill are probably pretty happy with your life right now. Okay, because even though you had to kind of reside yourself to the fact that you're losing out on a lot of possibilities, when it was all said and done, you realize that the possibility of getting my used deodorant is much more useless to you than this $20 bill will be. Okay, now, the reason I give you guys that example, I know it's kind of funny and kind of a little bit out there, but the reason I give you guys that example and that analogy is because I want us all to come to an understanding of what value actually is. Because I know a lot of people say, well, I'm high value, I'm this value, I'm that value, I'm low value, I'm medium value, I'm extra high value, right? And we don't really have an understanding of what value actually is, because everyone thinks that value off the top of their mind is really about quality. Okay, and it's about how good something actually is. But in reality, value is really about perception. Okay, now the reason I say it's about perception is because I want you to understand that a $20 bill, when I had the $20 bill in my hand, is a $20 bill. It always has been, it always will be. But you know that it's a $20 bill. So it can't be anything more than a $20 bill. You know what you can do and get access to with a $20 bill. However, this black box, before you knew what was inside the black box, was a mystery to you. And because it was a mystery to you, you were able to project onto this black box whatever thoughts or desires that you had. Meaning, if you were imagining that there was $100,000 sitting inside this black box, well, then that's what you put inside this black box. And so then it became more valuable than my $20 bill. If you were imagining, I've seen some people say it's a pair of heels in here, inside. Oh, why would it be a pair of heels? But okay, let's imagine it's a pair of heels in here, Louis Vuitton heels inside the black box. That's what you put inside the black box with your mind. And so it became more valuable than the $20 bill. Even, here's the crazy part, even for some of you who chose the $20 bill, it's because you projected onto this black box it having less value, or the possibility that it has less value, which means that the best answer would be to choose the $20 bill. So I just say that to say, perception can be so powerful to get you to make a decision, right, on what you think is better or think is best, even if you don't actually know the real quality of it. And a lot of times, well, majority of the time, the mystery is what's going to allow your imagination to flow, and your imagination will always be more powerful than the real thing. Okay? It's the same reason why I always tell you guys to say less and listen more. Not just because you'll get a better understanding of the guy and the person that you're talking to and what they're about, but you also leave some mystery for his imagination to come into play, where he can project, you can become like his black box, where he can project onto you any thought, any perspective, any opinion that he wants, and he can turn you into his absolute perfect person, right? And chase after you like he would his dream girl, because there's mystery to you. Now, when you're like the $20 bill, you're like the girl who comes on the date and just spills her whole guts and lets him know everything on the first date, and there's no mystery, there's nothing to solve, there's nothing to be intrigued by. So yes, you're safe because he knows the value of you, but there's also no mystery behind you, meaning there's no imagination to play about you. Okay? And the perception can be so powerful, especially when the perception is the mystery of what could be, what the possibilities could be. Okay? So I just want to point that out to you as it relates to value, because when we're talking about things that you might say that make you look valueless, right? It's not because you're actually valueless, and it's not because you actually are boring or uninteresting or nobody wants you. But I want you to understand how powerful the perception can be, and how your perception can be swayed or changed or adjusted based on what you're saying or not saying. Which is why today's title of the video is about the statements you make that make you look valueless. Because sometimes you say things on a date or with a partner, and you say them because you're thinking that you're letting people know how you really feel, or you're just being honest about you. But you don't realize that you're actually making yourself look less valuable in the guy's eyes. Not just sharing about you. Does that make sense to you guys so far? Okay, let me make sure this is all good here. Right? Are we all on the same page? Someone says, "Oh man, I have questions." Okay, there's nothing wrong with having questions, right? Are you guys following me so far? Now, let's get into the 7. Someone said haircut. You guys notice everything. Let's get into the 7 statements that I say make you look valueless. And this is just from a man's perspective, because you have to understand how we're receiving these things that you say. So with each statement, I'm going to give you guys the overarching theme of why it makes you look valueless, and then I'm going to let you know the statement. Okay, so number 1 has to do with making yourself look like a pushover. Okay, obviously, when you make yourself look like a pushover, it doesn't speak well to how much respect you have for yourself, or how much respect I should have for you. And if I don't need to have respect for you, it's probably because you don't have too much value. Now, the statement that you shouldn't be making that makes you look valueless is this. When you go out on a date with a guy, let's say, and you're sitting down with him, and you're on this first date, and so you guys are sharing about your each individual past relationships, and you go on and you start telling him this story about, my ex treated me so badly, but I stayed. And he just did this thing, and then he cheated, and then he lied, and then he manipulated, but I forgave him 1 time, I forgave him 2 times, I forgave him 3 times, I forgave him 30 times until I finally ended the relationship with him, or for some of you who are were in a tragic situation, until he finally got a new girlfriend and left me. Okay? Now, I know some of you immediately when I say that, you're like, wait. You're telling me I can't even talk truthfully about my past relationships? You're telling me I can't even discuss truthfully about how my relationship ended and why it ended? No. Okay, listen to me. Stay with me. We're going to go somewhere together. What I want you to understand is, while it is amazing to be truthful about your past and your relationships and why they ended and all that good stuff, and while some of you might have actually been in a situation in which you forgave your ex 80,000 times before it finally ended, I need you to be very aware that when you're building new relationships with new guys, you do not want to give them the idea that you are someone who is willing to deal with a whole bunch of BS from a guy and you're going to stay regardless. Remember, you always want to be setting the groundwork for the rest of your relationship. So the worst thing you can do is go into a dating stage or a talking stage and tell this new guy about all the ways your last guy mistreated you. Because what's he going to think? If I mistreat you, you're going to do the same thing for me, which is stay. So I don't have to be walking on pins and needles, worrying about whether or not I say the right thing or act the right way or treat you the right way, because you've already let me know that it's within your character to stay and deal with a bunch of BS just because you're a pushover. Now, obviously, the guys aren't going to say this when they're hearing you talk about this, but this is how they're going to be absorbing that information on a subconscious level. Okay? Because he's going to think to himself, this is the automatic thing. All guys think they're better than the last guy. So when you're telling him about how the last guy, the bum of an ex that you were dating, was mistreating you, and I think I'm so much better than your bum of an ex, I think to myself, well, that should mean if I mistreat you, you should stay for even longer because I'm way better than him. I have way more to offer than him. So if I mistreat you, that's even way more different, because when I mistreat you, at least I have something to offer other than your bum ex. So if you're going to take that BS from him, you better be willing to take that BS from me. Okay, it's the same concept why guys get really upset. Okay, why guys get really upset when girls say things like, oh, when girls are in positions where, let's say, other guys have gotten to have pineapples on the first date, right? Or the first night, and then they come across you and they're like, okay, I'm ready to have pineapples on the first night too. And you're like, whoa, I want to build a relationship. I want to wait. I want to this and that. And the guys go, why is it me? If he got to smash on the first night, I should get smashed on the first night too, right? Guys always think that they're better than the last guy. So they think whatever you let the last guy do, I want to get away with too. Don't try to make it, now you have rules. Now you have standards. But see, the thing about it is, if you present yourself in a way where you have always had standards and always had rules and always had expectations, then the men immediately think, oh, okay, well, she just doesn't mess around. So I just know I can't mess around with her. Point blank, period. Okay, so that's part of the reason it makes you look valueless, because it presents yourself to him as a pushover, as someone who is easily forgiving, and it doesn't matter what you do, you'll be willing to get back with him no matter what. Okay, Sonia asks, is this live in real time? This isn't 100% real time. This is happening right now in front of you. Okay, this is not pre-recorded. It might feel like that, but it's real. I'm real. I'm not an AI. Okay, so that is very important. I hope that makes sense. Now, number two's theme is about how you present yourself to make yourself look like you have a really boring life. And you don't want to be presenting yourself that way. Why? Because when you present yourself as having a really boring life, it's going to say to him subconsciously, oh, your life is literally uninteresting without me in it. And if I walk away from you, or if I instill you with the fear that I'm not going to be with you, then you'll get desperate, you'll get needy, and you'll start chasing after me instead. You don't want guys to feel like they're the be all and end all of your life and you have nothing going for you outside of them. because they will abuse that amount of power. Not to say that they shouldn't feel appreciated by you or wanted by you, but they cannot, listen to me, look in my eyes, they cannot feel like they're your entire world. They will abuse that power. Okay? So this is the statement that's going to present you as having a boring life. When you start saying things like, you never text me or call me. You're always so busy. It's like you never have time to text, and every night I'm waiting for you to call, and you never call, and I just don't get it. Like, how can you be busy every hour of the day that you can't even text me like once or twice like, you should be able to be on your phone like every 10 minutes. I should be able to get a text from you. It just doesn't make sense how you're so busy that you can't even call me on your break. You can't even call me when you're at home. You can't even call me when you're eating dinner. Why don't you want to fall asleep on FaceTime? Stop that. Okay? We end that. Because it makes you look like your life is literally standing still until he comes back and breathes life into it. You become like, remember we were talking about black cat and golden retriever? You present yourself like a golden retriever that literally, when he steps out of the house, it's like your life goes on pause, because like you don't have a life until he steps back into the house. You know how your dog, it's like when you leave, your dog just kind of like aimlessly like wanders around and like looks out the window waiting for you to come back, as if his life has literally been put on pause until you return back. And then when you return back, it's like his life is amazing again. And then that's what you're like when you're constantly like, you don't text me, you don't call me, you don't want to see me, you don't want to this with me, you don't want to that with me, right? And I know in your mind you're saying, well, I'm expressing how I truly feel. I'm expressing the fact that I'm unhappy with the fact that he doesn't call me or he doesn't text me, he doesn't reach out to me. I understand that you're unhappy with that, but I also want you to understand that you present yourself as seeming like someone who doesn't have anything else going for them, which is why you're so invested in the amount that he'll text you or call you or reach out to you, instead of being invested in the things that you have going on in your life. And he's more like an addition to that. I always tell you guys that it's vitally important that you allow guys to come to their own realizations of what they want and what they want with you, that they can act on those realizations and not feel like you force them to feel like that or do that thing. Because guys are only going to resent you or push back against that when you try to force them or stimulate them to do those particular things for you, or to reach out to you or text you or call you more. And even if he does do it for you, it's going to come out of pity for the fact that you're in so much pain. You don't want that type of situation. You want the guys heavily desiring you to the point where they feel it's necessary to call you and reach out to you. Right? Someone says people will do what they want when they want. People make time for what they want. Exactly. I actually 100% agree with you. Right. And the thing about it is, you have to see the thing. I know naturally when you're upset or when you want him to reach out to you more, you think that you telling him how or complaining about how much he doesn't text you is making the situation better so that he can reach out to you more and realize what he's doing. When in actuality, it's only making you look more uninteresting and boring. Right. And valueless, because if you did have value, if you did have something going on with your life for yourself that was important or that mattered, you wouldn't care so much that I'm not texting you every 10 minutes. You wouldn't care so much that I'm not calling you every night. Like I said, not to say that you shouldn't be appreciative or want your partner or care about your partner, but I do want you to understand how certain things you can say will come across. Okay? Even on a subconscious level. If I was on the street and I was telling you how valuable my iPad is, right? And I went on a tangent about how valuable my iPad is, but then right after I told you how valuable my iPad is, I asked you if I could pay you to take this iPad off my hands. It's not going to seem very valuable when I ask you and beg you to take it off my hands. Because when I'm begging you to take it off my hands, that's not a sign of something that has value. If it truly had value, I wouldn't have to beg you to take it off my hands. Same thing with you. If you truly have value, this is the subconscious thoughts that guys are having. If you truly have value, you wouldn't have to beg me to speak to you. Because I would already want to speak to you, and so would a whole lot of other people. So you wouldn't be concerned with how much I speak to you or don't speak to you. You see how that works? Are you kind of connecting the dots here and understanding how that works a little bit more? Okay. So being a pushover, number one, boring life, number two, right? Number three is a very interesting one. Number three, this statement will really present you as looking spineless. Okay. This might sound strange, but when I say looking spineless, what I'm referring to is it makes you look as if when things matter to you and are important to you, even though they're a problem or an issue for you or something you need to be resolved, the fact that you're so, your desire to be likable is so overwhelming, you won't address those things. Okay, so this is the natural statement that a lot of people will make when they are presenting themselves as spineless, which is going to present you as valueless. So let's say, let's say me and you are planning to go out to a dinner. And I say I'm going to, pick you up at 9 p.m. and we're going to go eat sushi. And let's say you're like, okay, yeah, I would love to eat sushi. Just make sure that you can pick me up at exactly 9 p.m. because I got this to do and I got to be back home by a certain time. And then when I pick you up, right, when I come and it's the day of and it's the night of, I drive, right, and I'm driving. But by the time I get there to your house, it's 10:30. And by the time I get to your house and it's 10:30, you get in the car. You're like, why are you so late? I'm like, oh, I was doing some stuff. I just had some stuff to do. Why didn't you let me know? Oh, well, I was too busy and but I'm here now. And you're like, okay, so where are we going? You said we were going to a sushi spot. Oh yeah, the sushi spot. I forgot to book a reservation at the spot. Can you book one right now? And you're like, okay, I'll book a reservation at the spot. And you're looking through and you're like, well, there's nothing available now. And then he's like, okay, well, let's just go to another spot. Like, let's go to like a bar or something. We can go get a burger or something like that. And you're like, I told you, like, I don't want to eat a burger. I don't like burgers. That's not what I'm in the mood for. I really wanted sushi. And he's like, well, why are you being so difficult? I'm trying to make it work, but you're being super difficult and super extra with it. And you're like, all right, whatever. It's not that deep. Okay? And see, it's not that deep. Sounds good because it's an easy way to pass off situations or issues that you have and just let it go, quote unquote. But what it's not that deep, especially when you use it on a regular basis, is actually doing is showing people, specifically the guys that you're in a relationship with, right? When you're always like, it's not that deep, it's not that important, who cares, whatever. What you're doing is you're showing guys that when you have an issue, you have a problem, or you have something that's important to you, you're going to put it on the back burner or sweep it under the rug because you don't want to be confrontational. It makes you look spineless. When you look spineless, it makes you look as if you have no respect for yourself. If you have no respect for yourself, that speaks towards your value. Because guys understand that the girls who have respect for themselves aren't going to take a whole bunch of BS. And if someone tries to mistreat them or disrespect them, they're going to speak up for themselves. That's the natural occurring thought of guys, right? And as they meet you and get to know you, they're going to learn if you're someone who speaks up for themselves because you have respect for yourself, or if you're someone that doesn't speak up for yourself because you're scared and in fear of losing people. Same reason why I tell you guys, don't be worried about being likable. Worry about being more of yourself and figuring out which guys are best suited for you. Because the more likable you try to be, the more you'll be an it's not that deep type of person. And when you're an it's not that deep type of person, you're thinking you're becoming more likable by being more like, oh, it's not that deep. Who cares? It's not that big a deal. But in reality, you're only making yourself look more like a pushover and a spineless person who is very uninteresting and boring, because what standards do I have to live up to, or expectations do I have to live up to as a guy if you don't have none? What standards or expectations do I have to live up to if even if I make a mistake or even if I do something wrong, you're just going to pass it off as not that deep? I hate that statement, me personally. I passionately hate that statement because it's like escapism from actually solving and resolving the problem or addressing the problem. Whether you say it's not that deep to yourself or you say it out for your partner, it's always that deep. Okay. And I know we get deep on the show, so you're probably learning that, but it's always that deep. And you never want to be letting these things go, even in a small sense, especially when you're growing a relationship at the beginning. Like I always say, you're setting the foundation for the rest of the relationship. So if you're allowing things to pass off, even in a minor sense at the beginning, you're going to set the precedent for the rest of the relationship. And you're also going to set the precedent for the large issues, right? Small things are always just a microcosm of the larger issue. So if you're not addressing small things, do you really think you're going to address the big thing? Probably not. Okay? And I don't want that for you, because it's not going to end well for you. And I want good things to happen for you. Don't be a people pleaser. Okay? So being a pushover, boring life, we talked about being spineless. Number 4, makes you look very desperate. Okay? Very desperate. I don't want you to say this one. Okay? When you are seeing a guy and you're getting accustomed to him just kind of chatting you up, let's even say he's texting you a lot and calling you a lot and stuff like that, but he's never actually planning to schedule a real date with you. And then you let him know, hey, you never take me out on dates, or you never want to go out anywhere, or you never want to schedule anything. Why don't you ever want to take me out on a date? Why don't you ever want to schedule this? Why don't you ever want us to go out and see each other in person? Why you don't do this? You don't want to take me out on a date and this and that. And once again, I know that you think that you're expressing a feeling and a thought that you have, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I want you to understand, see, you're never going to be stimulating a guy to do something by complaining about him not doing it. The best way to stimulate a guy doing something is by taking a step back. You can build the runway for him. You can even teach him how to fly, but you do not fly that plane for him. Okay? What I mean by that is, yes, you can set the groundwork that a guy can do something for you. You can even plant the seeds in his mind that when the idea sprouts, he feels like it was genuinely his idea. But you do not try to force men to treat you how you want to be treated. You also don't complain your way to force men to treat you how you want to be treated. You give them the space to come to the realization that this is the way they should be treating you. And you use your ability to give or take away energy to help better guide them and help them understand what the right path is and what the wrong path is. We talked about that yesterday. And so as soon as you start saying, oh, you don't take me out on dates, you never want to do nothing nice for me, you never want to be a gentleman for me, and all this stuff, right? What you're doing is you're acknowledging the fact that you're being treated less than, and in the weirdest way. I know this sounds strange, okay? As you acknowledge that, you bring that focus into the relationship, and something very strange happens. When you're complaining about that, even though you're thinking you're doing it to make the situation better, it actually in the weirdest way makes the situation worse, because it makes you look like someone who is so desperate to be treated right by someone, by this guy, that you need him to act right and do the right thing, because if he can't do it, then your life is over. When the mindset that you should be bringing to your relationships or even your talking stages is, hey, if you want to be the person that I need in a relationship and be the man that I need in a relationship, that would be awesome. However, if you're not prepared to do that and not prepared to take actions necessary to be that guy, that's actually perfectly fine with me. My life will still go on and be great because there are 1,000 other men ready to do that for me, and they will gladly take your spot in line. Okay? And so when your mindset is of that, you won't feel the need to beg someone to treat you the right way or to treat you how you want to be treated. All you'll simply do is withdraw your energy from the guy who is not treating you how you expect to be treated. And it's magic. It's actually magic. The guys who are invested in you will come to this magical realization that, yeah, how I was treating you was not right, and I should probably adjust my behavior. It's crazy. It's like magic. It's magic, truly. And like I said, withdrawing your energy and giving it based on what you expect or what is working for you or what's not can be so powerful, especially when you train your man with that basis. The treat and the reward, if guys are like a dog, the dog treat is like giving your energy, giving more energy to him, giving more focus to him, giving more attention to him. And the punishment is withdrawing that energy and focus and attention. And when he becomes accustomed to that, you, like I say, you don't even have to lift a finger, because that's your power to tell him the difference between right or wrong. You don't have to complain about anything. You don't got to mention anything. You just reward him by withdrawing or giving your energy, or punish him. Sorry, reward or punish by doing that. Okay. So that makes you look desperate. Okay. Now, another one, we talked about pushover, a boring life, being spineless, being desperate. Okay, number 5, I actually really want you to pay attention to this one, because this one is going to seem very strange, but it's actually very detrimental to your perception. So I want all of you looking in my eyes. I want all of you paying attention. I want all of you like present with me here. Okay, if you're half asleep, wake yourself up out of bed. Okay. This statement will make you look very worthless to men. I know this sounds very intense. It is. There's a reason for that. So let's imagine you are on a date with a guy, and let's say this is like your 3rd date, and he's taking you out to some nice places. He's brought you flowers and things like that. He's picked you up at the right time. He's been a gentleman. He's been respectful to you. And because you feel so good about the relationship and how it's going so far, and because you're so happy with everything that he's been doing and how he's been acting towards you, you come out and you say what you truly feel inside based on your experience. And you let him know, I never get treated this good. Thank you so much. See, once again, I know that in your mind you're thinking, I'm just expressing how I truly feel. I'm letting him know the fact that he is doing so much more for me than all the other guys have done for me. Okay? And I'm letting him know this because it's the truth. It's my actual experience. In my past relationships, I wasn't treated well. And now you're doing so much for me. So I want to tell him, I've never get treated like this. You're treating me so much better than all the other guys have, or my ex has. Very similar to what I mentioned at the very beginning. You're basically letting him know you're doing way more than every other guy has ever had to do to get access to me. And even if you did less, you would still get the same amount of access to me because other guys have. And while he might not immediately just consciously think of it, he begins to think to himself, wow, so everyone in her life has treated her like trash. And I'm the only person treating her like that she's valuable. I kind of feel like a sucker now. Am I a sucker? And he begins rethinking the fact that he's simping for you, or the fact that he's on his hands and knees for you, or the fact that he's doing the most for you, because you're telling him how he's the only guy to ever do the most for you. You're telling him how he's the only guy to ever go to these lengths for you. And you're letting it be known how all these other guys have treated you like complete garbage and trash, because some of you guys are saying this in combination with how badly your ex treated you. So you're basically letting him know how worthless you've been to all the other men, but he is the one and only guy who will actually see some value in you. Do you like, I know in your mind you think it sounds good, but I really want you to step outside of yourself and look from the guy's perspective when you're thinking about, chasing and attaining a dream girl, chasing and attaining the woman that everyone wants, or chasing and attaining the prize, as you guys like to say you are. Does that sound like something which is a prize? That it's been discarded and not cared about and been unappreciated by everyone else who's come across it. And you're the only lonely soul to actually appreciate this poor thing, this quote unquote prize. Okay? Now, the reason I say that and why this is actually one of the most important ones here, I know it's coming at number 5, but it's honestly one of the most important ones, is because I want you to understand how expressing particular things will actually make it look like you have less value. And why that is. I don't want that for you, which is why I want to let you know why that is. Okay? Am I breaking up? Am I still freezing? I'll get better. Okay? Right? You don't want to be telling guys how every other guy has mistreated you and treated you like trash, and he's the first one to actually treat you with some respect. He's the first one to actually treat you like a human being. He's the first one to actually take you out, buy you flowers, be respectful to you, not call you names and this and that. Because as a guy, it's not going to make him feel like he's winning any sort of prize. It's actually going to make him feel like he's winning everyone's leftovers. Would you want to feel like you're winning other people's leftovers, or would you want to feel like you bagged the best guy possible that everyone else wants? It's just natural human nature. Okay? Now, it's not to say that you should never discuss any of your past relationships or past partners, but I want you to be very curated with how you discuss your past relationships, that you don't put yourself in a light to make yourself look like you're willing to deal with a whole bunch of BS and to be treated like garbage, and to make yourself look like up until this point you've been absolutely used and abused by all these guys. Because all he's going to think is, well, why would I be the first one to respect you and treat you with some respect? I know that sounds malicious and I know that sounds horrible, but like subconsciously people think, well, if everyone else doesn't value you, why would I be the first one to value you? People in a weird sense can be followers. So the girls that they dream about is most likely the girl that they see everyone else also dreaming about. It's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's called groupthink. That's the concept. When people take on the mindset of whatever the entire rest of the group is thinking or feeling or expressing, because nobody wants to go against the grain. And it's a natural instinct to human beings. Okay? And so I want you to understand that when guys start hearing about you or hearing stories about your relationships, and he hears about how every other guy has treated you horribly, he starts thinking to himself, well, what am I missing? Why does everyone else treat you like trash and I'm the only one seeing the value in you? This sounds kind of strange. Maybe I'm missing something here. Okay? And you don't want guys in that position when it comes to you. You don't want guys thinking that when it comes to you. Okay? So that one was very important. Okay? That was number 5. So we talked about being a pushover, the boring life, being spineless, being desperate. We talked about presenting yourself as worthless. Now, number 6, very interesting one. you you can present yourself as someone who is uninteresting and that nobody wants to really spend time with when you say this. So let's say you're hanging out with a guy and you've been talking to him for about 3 or 4 months now. And he mentions to you how he wants to go out and do something with his boys, just him and his boys. Nothing crazy. Maybe they want to go karting together, just him and his boys. And you're like, "Oh, but I want to come along. Can't I come along?" And he's like, "No, it's kind of like a boys thing. Nobody's bringing their girl." And you're like, "Oh, you're not going to let me come along? You don't want me there? You don't like me?" Right? And then he's like, "No, it's not that I don't want you. I just like to spend some time with my boys." And then this is what you say, okay? This is the statement that makes you look very valueless. You say, "Well, I only want to hang out with you and do stuff with you. Even if I'm with my friends, I just want to bring you along." Well, I don't even really have any other friends because I just want to spend all my time with you. And I'd rather just be with you 24/7. So I don't get why you don't want me to come along on the guys' night or the guys' time, because I would always invite you everywhere. Now, this is another one of those things where, yes, it seems like you're being just a genuine, caring, appreciative soul and you love your man so much that you would crawl in his skin and you want to be him and you want to be inside him 24/7 and you want him to be inside you 24/7. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have emotions or feelings, but I do want you to understand how that statement comes across. Because while it's amazing to love your partner and care about your partner and want to spend time with your partner, once again, you become very needy. Actually, is a better word than even uninteresting. Okay. Well, so we'll say number 6 is needy. Okay. And you come across so needy that you can't stand on your own 2 feet and you can't have anything in your life that is just your own. You can't have friends that are just your own. You can't do things in your life outside of your relationship and with your man. Nothing wrong with enjoying spending time with your man, but there has to be some sort of individuality that you have. And when you constantly are trying to get your partner to spend every waking moment of their life with you, and you complain about any time he tries to have any sort of individuality outside of you, you literally make yourself look worthless and valueless. Because how can you possibly have value when you can't stand on your own 2 feet? You can't even do things without me there. You can't even enjoy your life without me present. Not that you should not care about me, not that you should want me never there, but there should be some individuality that you have in your life. You see, people never receive. I know some people think, "Oh, it's so cute to have codependency. It's so cute to want to spend every waking moment of every second of my life with that person." Nothing wrong with desiring your partner, but I do want you to understand how it comes across when you make someone feel like every second of your entire life should be spent with them. And if every second is not spent with them, then you're falling apart. I do need you to understand how that makes the person receiving that feel. They feel smothered. They cannot see you as someone who is desirable when you're like that. Because no matter how you want to slice it or dice it, well, it's more healthy for us to want to see each other all the time and 24/7. Here's the thing. When you put yourself in a position with a guy where you spend 24/7 with him, around him, and you guys never have a break from each other, the only possible thought he can have, listen to me. If you're spending every waking moment of every second of every day with him, the only thought he can have outside of that is, "I would like to see her a little bit less." Do you see how that works? If you're spending every waking moment with someone already, it's impossible for you to say to yourself, I would like to see that person more. You're already seeing them the more. And you always want to be balancing out the fact that someone enjoys spending time with you with the desire to see you and spend more time with you. Okay? Because you never want to put people in a position, specifically the men that you're dating, you never want to put them in a position where they say to themselves, I would actually kind of want to see her less. Or I would actually want to spend a little bit of time away from her. Because as soon as they start thinking that, they're going to approach you very differently. Very differently. Because the girls that they want to see more, those are the ones they're reaching out to. Those are the ones they're calling every day. Those are the ones they're texting every day. Those are the ones they're asking if they can hang out this day or that day and trying to schedule with them and hang out with them as much as possible. Because they want and they have the desire to see them more. But you can't have that desire if he already sees you the more. This is why you always want to have your own individuality and things that you care about, that you can also take breaks from your partner and allow him to continuously, ongoing, have desire for you. Right? And a desire to see you more and spend more time with you. Even if you're married or even if you live together, you can do this. Simply by picking up a hobby or a passion that has you spending, even if it's not spending time away from the house, spending time focused on something that's not him. Okay? I need you to understand that. And I know some of you are like, that's not no type of man I want. If he wants to spend any type of time away from me, that's not even the type of relationship I want. A healthy relationship is one where we both want to spend 24 hours a day with each other. That's what a healthy Tomisin, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just such a fool. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're an idiot. I don't even know why I listen to you. For those of you that say that, let me ask you a question. Actually, let me ask all of you a question. The guys that smothered you with all their time and attention trying to spend 24 hours a day with you, did you find those guys the most interesting and desirable, or did you find those guys the least interesting and desirable? I'm asking you personally. The guys in your life that you were seeing or were trying to court you, the guys that wanted to spend every waking moment with you, every 24 hours a day with you, and be around you all the time, never give you a break from them, did you find those guys the most interesting or the least interesting? Okay, right? Marcella in the YouTube chat says, no, they annoyed me. Simone says least. Yolo says least. Scotty says the least, right? And the reason I ask you guys that, I see a lot of people saying the least. I see, who was it? Stay says, but I like Psycho. Okay. And I love that you said that, Stay, because the thing about it is, even those of us that love Psycho, it's not that you love Psycho for the reason of loving Psycho. It's probably because you love Psycho for the security it gives you, that you don't actually have to be super invested in them. See, this is what I also want you to understand, is that yes, there can be comfort in being with a partner who wants to spend 24 hours a day with you. But you have to understand, part of that comfort that you feel is the fact that you don't feel like you like that person more than they like you. And so there's comfort in knowing that, hey, I don't ever have to feel like I'm bothering you because you're the one always on my body. And so I get to sit back and relax. There's a comfort in that. So it's not really that, oh, I like you more. It's actually that I like you kind of less, but I'm comfortable liking you less because it makes me feel less anxiety that you might not like me. You see how that works? There's always kind of like a dynamic going on, and it can be adjusted and changed as time goes on, right, in a relationship, but there's always kind of a push and pull dynamic going on. And what I'm trying to help you guys gain is the power dynamic in which your guy really wants and desires you. And so because of his want and desire towards you, he then in turn takes action on that desire. See, even Stay said true, no anxiety is nice, right? Because even though you might like a psycho guy or might like a guy who wants to spend every waking moment of every second with you, It's not because you like that type of guy more, but you like the feeling of not having the anxiety. But in reality, we've talked about this before. Stay might be new and some of you might be new, but we've acknowledged that the anxiety that you give people or that you get towards people is actually what stimulates you to have stronger feelings for that person. And so the guys that are giving you the most anxiety are the guys that you're the most interested in, and vice versa. Right? The guys that you're the least interested in are subsequently giving you the least amount of anxiety. And so it's the same thing for you. When you really like a guy and you want him to really like you, you actually have to be giving him anxiety in different ways. Because when you're giving him too much security, that he feels like you're all on his body, you want to be with him 24/7, all he's going to say is, wow, this is comforting. I like the fact that I can be relaxed and know that she wants to spend all her time and energy on me. Because then I don't have to be worried about being the one that likes her too much. See how that works? Okay. So you don't want these guys to start feeling like, you don't have any other things to do. You just want to spend all your time with him. You don't have any other thing that would be interesting or stimulating to you except being around and with him. It does not come across how you think it's coming across. Right? And if you feel like you're someone who doesn't understand that, because I know some of you totally get that, but if you feel like you're someone who doesn't understand that, then you need to rewind and start thinking about how you can spend your time doing some things for you that you enjoy. That's not about being around boys. Some of you need a boys break so that you can actually start figuring out what you actually care about outside of boys, that you can have something to bring into a relationship that you find interesting outside of just the relationship, that you can focus some time and energy on. Because while your partner getting your time and attention and energy is good, it should not be the be all and end all of your entire life, because your newsflash, your partner and your man is also going to have his own individuality outside of you. So if you don't have any individuality outside of him, you're going to be a very sad damsel in distress. Okay. And I don't want that for you. Does that make sense? Right? Right. Jess says, I have a purpose to fulfill and things to do even after a marriage. I agree. See, we live in a world where I want you guys to understand that while being a wife and a girlfriend is amazing, that's not like your only reason for existing on this earth. I hope you know that. Okay. And it doesn't take me as a man, I'm just a boy, to tell you that. Okay, you should already know that your existence is more than just that. That's obviously a great part, a major, awesome part of your existence, but it's not the be all and end all of your existence. Okay, like you're more intelligent and even more capable than just that. Okay, so next, we talked about pushover, boring life, spineless, desperate. Then we talked about presenting yourself as worthless. So then lastly, we'll talk about a topic we've discussed. Number 7 is validation, and how this statement can make you look like you're seeking validation. It's not good though, because when it looks like you're seeking validation from this guy and you really need him to validate you, it only makes you come across as someone who doesn't have your own sense of validation or your own sense of confidence in yourself, which is why you need that validation from him. So this statement that you'll make, that's going to make you look like you're seeking that validation, right, is when a guy is, you guys, let's say, are talking for 3-4 months. And in the process of you talking, things start off really hot and heavy at the beginning. He's talking about how he wants to date you. He's talking about how he wants to, he's talking about how he wants to make you his girlfriend. He's talking about how he wants to take you on a trip and go this place with you and all this amazing stuff, kind of like the love bombing that we've discussed before on the show that he talks to you about at the beginning. And so you're feeling the love so much. You're feeling like he's really intense. You're feeling like he's all up on you. You're feeling like he really wants you. Then as the 4 months goes by, you kind of see this dwindling down slowly but surely. And after a while, you kind of feel like, well, it's just not as intense as it was before. And so then you bring up to him, this is the statement you make: I feel like you're uninterested in me, or I feel like you don't like me anymore. I feel like I'm not as important to you anymore. You don't like me anymore. You're uninterested in me now. You don't love me anymore. Okay? Listen, I know once again, this is like you're expressing your feelings. Okay? I know that this feels like the best way to get a guy to act right. What I'm trying to help you understand is anytime you present yourself like this, you put yourself in you give him so much power and you put yourself so much below him that you make your relationship dynamic as if he is in control of whether or not you feel good about yourself. You see, you also give him the power of knowing that if he gives you more love, you'll be over the moon. If he gives you less love, you'll be down in the dumps. What is that? That is control. See, you're actually allowing him to do to you what I'm actually giving you advice to do to the men, in terms of being able to withdraw and give your energy as a way to get him and steer him in the direction that you want him to be. You're actually getting that done to you because when he love bombs you, you're over the moon. You're the happiest person ever. You're a golden retriever with your tongue out and your tail wagging. But when he's not paying attention to you, when he's not complimenting you or validating you or love bombing you like he usually does, now you're down in the dumps. Now you don't know what to do with your life. Now you feel so worthless. Now you feel so undesirable. Now, there's nothing wrong with having the feeling, but I just want you to understand the better way to go about that rather than being like, oh, but you don't find me interesting anymore. You don't love me anymore. If you don't like how he's treating you or you don't like the energy he's giving you, rather than making that statement and making yourself look like someone said it earlier, beggar energy, giving off beggar peasant energy. Please, sir, just a little bit more of validation. Please, sir, just a little bit more of attention and love. I feel like you don't love me. Can I just have a little bit of attention and love? It just feels like I'm getting nothing. And then he goes, sure, peasant, I shall sprinkle a little bit more of attention and love on you. There you go, peasant. Run off now. Right? You don't want that type of dynamic. What you want to do is you want to flip the script back on him. So if you feel like you're not getting the side of him that you want, what do? You withdraw. You withdraw. You withdraw your energy, you withdraw your attention, and you withdraw your focus. And then you allow him the space to say, I don't like when you withdraw from me. I need to take steps forward towards you. And so you solve your problem, not by complaining about your problem or letting him know how uninterested he is in you and all the different ways he's uninterested in you, but you solve your problem by taking a step back and letting him realize how interested he is in you and then taking steps forward towards you. See, I always tell you guys, and I'm going to drill this into your brain, you're never going to forget this concept. I always tell you, your superpower as a woman is not to be more manly than the men. It's not to scream as loud as the men. It's not to punch walls. It's not to get angry. It's not to try to force people to do what you want them to do by using your strength and your muscles. Your superpower as a woman is to understand that when men desire you and want to be with you, you can use that to get exactly what you want out of the man without actually having to ask him to do anything. Because when he desires you and he pursues you and he wants you, when you take a step back from him, he is forced to make an adjustment because he is the one pursuing you. If he wants you and he wants access to you, he's going to be forced to make adjustments if you're taking steps back from him because he doesn't want that. He wants you. And see, you're able to exist in a state where you don't have to yell, you don't have to scream, you don't have to complain, you don't have to nag. All you have to do is withdraw or give your energy as a way to guide him in the right direction of what he should or shouldn't be doing. And he'll gain an understanding of how he should be acting, what type of partner he should be with you without you ever having to lift a finger. Not because you tell him to do that, not because you force him to do that, but because he realizes that he does not like the feeling of you withdrawing from him. And because he doesn't like the feeling of you withdrawing from him, he's going to act differently and make adjustments and take action on the things that will help you not withdraw from him. Okay? Misharu says, is blocking him kind of withdrawal? No. So this is one thing that I didn't mention yesterday, okay? And by the way, if you guys have any other questions about anything we discussed, please ask them. But one of the things that I forgot to mention yesterday, I seen a lot of people asking, well, should I block him? Is that a way to withdraw? Is that a proper way to withdraw by blocking someone? Can I get my power back by like that? You do not withdraw by blocking someone. Okay, I want to make that very clear. Withdrawing is not blocking someone, because when you block someone, you make it clear that you're bothered. You make it clear that something they have done to you or said to you has struck a chord with you. And so you block them as a way to just get them out of your mind. When you withdraw from someone, you want them to feel, as if specifically the guys in this scenario, when you withdraw from a guy, you want him to feel as if you have become disinterested in him because of how he's been acting or speaking. Because when he feels like you are now disinterested in him, it's going to make it clear to him he's done something wrong. He's going to begin searching for answers on what he did wrong and how he can solve that. Because disinterest is not a strong emotion. Disinterest is just indifference. And if you go from being interested in him to being disinterested in him, he's going to feel like something's wrong and something's off. But if you go from being interested in him to just hating him and hating his guts, well, that's still a strong emotion, and that still shows me that you care. See, you don't want people, if you're trying to actually affect them, you don't want them to feel like you care, as weird as that sounds. Because when they feel like you care, that can also be an ego boost. If you really hate me, it's because you really care. But if you actually just don't care, you're not bothered, then that kind of makes me feel weird, because it makes me feel like I don't matter. People also receive strong levels of hate as the ego boost, the same ego boost that strong levels of love and intense levels of love would give you. Because you can't truly I hate you with all my might if you don't actually still care. The same way you can't, I love you so much, so intensely, if you don't care. They both have to come from you caring. And you caring lets me know how you really feel. But if you're disinterested, now I feel like I don't matter. Now I feel like I'm just non-existent to you. Now I feel like I'm literally a ghost to you and I'm irrelevant to you. That is a way worse and more painful feeling than feeling like someone hates you. Okay? Right? Joar says, what if you live together? You can still make yourself look disinterested in someone when you live with them. I know that sounds strange, and I know this. Listen, this is not for the faint of heart. This is not for people who are super nice people that can't let someone feel that. Because when they're feeling that, they're going to be sad about it. They're going to be questioning things, right? So when I say this, you can make someone feel like you're disinterested even while you're living with them by doing things like not participating in activities you guys would regularly be participating with each other, and taking your own alone time. So for example, if you live together and you guys are accustomed to watching a particular show every night in the evening, you withdraw yourself from that event, from that time you would usually spend together. And he's going to be like, well, what's wrong? Why don't you want to watch the show? No, I just don't. I feel like watching the show today. I just want to do something else. And then you go off and be on your own. And he's going to sit there. I promise you. If you guys watch a show together and now you're withdrawing yourself, let's say he's done something to you that you just really didn't like, you didn't appreciate, and you're taking a withdrawal from him. And he's going to sit there. And then when you're like, no, I don't really want to watch a show today. I got something else to do. He's going to sit there like, oh, but I got the remote right here. You don't want to watch our show? No, I'm good. Then when you go in your room or you go upstairs, you go somewhere else, he's going to say, what the heck? What's going on? You don't want to watch the show anymore? What did I do? Okay, so yesterday we went to the grocery store and then I said this thing and I made this, is it that comment that I said? I made a comment about her weight or... Oh, okay. Yeah, I got to go apologize for this. And so you see, when you leave people with their own thoughts and you leave especially guys with the space to like actually do some critical thinking, they'll come to realizations on their own, and they'll figure out how to take action on those realizations and better the situation. Because if he's interested in you, he doesn't want you to be continuously withdrawn from him. And so the moment you withdraw from him like that, his brain's going to start working on what must I have done and what must I do to undo what I did. And it's so much more powerful for him to come to you that way, as opposed to you telling him, you did this, you did that, you did that, you should apologize, you should be sorry, you should be on your hands and knees, and you should feel bad, and this and that, right? It's way more powerful for him to come to you that way, having already realized what he did, ready to apologize and make the situation better, as opposed to the other way around, where you're the one trying to get him to come to that realization by yelling at him and telling him what he did and telling him how he should fix this and that. Right? Excellent says, super true. I withdrew myself from sports and that was our thing. Only thing I never went back. Okay. Right. Guys will notice that. Guys will notice that. And Misharu says, when should I stop withdrawing? You stop withdrawing once the guy comes to you with an apology and then a course of action on how that thing is going to change. I kind of talked about that yesterday. Okay. Right. You allow him he's going to apologize, but it's not just the apologize as the words, but it's also the apology with the course of action on how this is going to be changed or adjusted for the future. So it's not an ongoing issue. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? Ursa says, but don't tell him what to do exactly. Yes, exactly. You don't tell him what he should be doing. You let him come to his realization of what he thinks the best course of action is. Trust me, I assure you, guys might be emotionally stunted. They're not idiots, though. If you let them do some critical thinking, I promise you, guys are capable of doing critical thinking. It seems like it's impossible, I know, but it actually is real. If you let guys have the space to do some critical thinking and really ponder on what the issue is and how they can solve it, I can assure you there are lots of smart and intelligent men that are able to problem solve and come to some realizations. You just have to give them the space to do that and allow them to actually come to you and do that. Okay? So that being said, it's Discord time. 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 Let's get it. Let's get it. It's Discord time. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's Discord time. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's Discord time. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's Discord time. Okay, let's hop into the Discord here, where we shall. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Organic Black donated $20 in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much, Organic Black. I really appreciate you so much. Everyone give Organic Black a round of applause in the chat, okay? We're here at Discord time. It's Discord time, and we're going to get involved in some situations here. We're going to get in some trouble here, okay? So let's see what the Discord has to offer for us today. Probably something very interesting. Yesterday was wow. So S says, need a relationship advice / clarity. Okay, let's see what you got here. Hi, Tomisin. I am 34 and my boyfriend is 37. I'm single. Wait, what? My boyfriend. I'm single. Huh? Okay, I'm single, never married, and no kids, and my boyfriend is divorced and has one daughter. Okay, 7 years old. A little backstory on how our relationship started. So our connection started on Hinge. Dating app. We started talking at March and have a date and meet up on April. Wait, have a date. So you had one on April. Okay, sorry, you meant to say had one on April. No pineapples at all on our first date, just dinner, which is good, LOL. We became officially together on May, and now we are 1 year together. So why did you say I'm single? I'm just confused. Sorry. We are 1 year together. Everything was great and good to date someone who's very matured, much more mature than me. Sorry, I'm just correcting what you meant to say. My boyfriend makes effort to spend time with me, go out on dates, give me flowers on special events, and all the stuff that good boyfriends do. I have nothing to complain with that, but over time, as time passes by, it slowly is changing, like our communication is more or less. He doesn't check on me and as much as he used to before. We mostly just stay in rather than going out as much as we used to before. And things give me anxiety, but I am aware that change in a relationship is normal because you are being comfortable with each other now. Is that valid? Okay. So I just think it's just me overthinking with those changes because he still treats me well and still makes an effort to spend time with me, even though he has a busy schedule. Please spell check and reread your work, guys. I'm correcting a lot of what you said here. Okay. S. With work and his daughter. With us being comfortable, our hangout time became a routine. Like there's already a specific day we see each other, usually when it's not his week with his daughters, which is okay. Sometimes I bond with them when he has his daughter. So with me, the issue is, am I just overthinking this that nothing is spontaneous now and naturally that he will ask me to go out on a date or plan? It's like I just need to wait on our regular day of hangouts. So it makes me anxious that slowly this will get boring and scared that my boyfriend will look for something else fun. I know I am an overthinker and this is my red flag, but is my feelings valid? Am I sabotaging the relationship thinking that my boyfriend is not great anymore? He could do better. Is this normal since it's a matured relationship? Oh, there's a part 2. Okay. Another one is he hasn't introduced me to his friends, although mostly he goes out with his buddies for golfing, so of course I can't come. But there's other events like B-days that he didn't ask me to come to and didn't tell me about, and there are a mix of women in there and his guy friends. I know that it's his female friends, but I think he should still have asked me to come. I only met 2 of his friends and a couple that were close to him. We had a conversation about this when I found out, and I tried to express to him my disappointment and what I felt. He explained that he used to have a lifestyle of being alone and not obliged to inform anyone else after after the divorce. That's why I don't feel the need. That's why he didn't feel the need to do it in regards with his friends. He explained that these are people he won't keep in his life and wants to move on from them, like he is protecting me. So that's why he doesn't bring me around to meet them. He added that this is why I only met 2 of his friends, yet because those people are close to him and will be in his life. So yeah, I just tried to understand him, thinking probably too soon to introduce me. We both met our family and he introduced and brought me to special events in his family, which is everything is going great. And the family was very welcoming for me. So I feel the relief and it feels good. But am I wrong to ask him to, but am I wrong to think that he is not proud of me or showing me off if he does this? Again, am I sabotaging this relationship? How can I make him bring me or introduce me to his friends? I know he loves me and I feel that, and I never felt that he will cheat. That is serious with me, but sometimes it makes me doubt if he is committed with our relationship with everything I have mentioned above. I get so much anxiety overthinking with this. I'm scared I'm the one who will ruin our relationship, even though everything is going great. It just feels like sometimes I'm doing more than him. Is this valid feelings? Okay, thank you for the question here, S. So what I'll say to you here is, based on what I obviously don't know this guy, but based on what you told me, I don't think that there's anything to be a serious cause of concern outside of you say you guys mostly stay in, right? But you did also say we rather than going out as we used to. I don't know if you mean we never go out or you just mean that you go out less than you used to before. I do want to caution you by helping you understand that like in a like a long-term relationship, like it's not going to be as, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not going to go out on as many dates as you were at the beginning, simply because that's not necessarily as feasible all throughout the relationship. Not that you'll never do that, but the amount you'll do that will be different. For example, if you're dating someone and you just met them and started dating them, you might go out on 3 dinner dates a week with that person. Okay. Now, that might be the MO at the very beginning of the relationship, where you're not going to be spending time at each other's house and things like that. But after about a year of time, you're not still going to be able to maintain. I'm talking even like financially, like you guys aren't going to be able to maintain going out on 3 dinner dates a week. Not that you guys won't date each other or do other things that are interesting, or do other things to keep the relationship adventurous and fun, but it's not going to be 3 dinner dates a week. Okay. So I just say that to help you understand, like, as a relationship matures, things are going to kind of be molded and adjusted, and it's not going to look exactly like when you just met someone that you didn't know before. Not to say that you should be okay with him not putting in any sort of effort, but from what you said, he schedules you with work and his daughter. And you have to understand, this man is 37 years old. And he has a child. He's been divorced, obviously. So like his life has to have structure in order for it to like work. He can't just say, hey, cool, I feel like hanging out with you today, so I'm going to hang out with you until I feel like not hanging out with you anymore. He actually has to be like, okay, I have work. I have whatever else he does in his own spare time, working out, playing basketball, whatever, playing badminton, I don't know, what he does. And then he's got his child, which is obviously a major priority in his life. And then he also has to not just factor in his child, but he has to factor in the mother of his child's schedule and how they're going to collaborate and co-parent this child, and what dates are important, what things he has to attend, what things he has to be there for. So I say all that to say, yes, at the beginning of your relationship, you guys are going to date and it's going to feel a little bit more spontaneous and adventurous. But like when he actually ingratiates you into his everyday life, yeah, like he's got to manage you and manage his daughter and manage his work as well. So it's not going to be, I feel like hanging out with you today, and let's go out to a picnic randomly today because I just feel like going out on a picnic today. No, it's going to be, okay, these are my available days. This is when I can hang out with you. This is when I can spend time with you. And we'll do this at this time for this amount, for this period. That's how adults live and do things. Okay. I'm not saying that to like make you feel like you're not an adult or make you feel like you're a child, but I need you to understand, like that's the natural way adults are going to go about things. It's not going to be like a Disney princess story where he comes to the tallest tower, the tallest building, he sweeps you off your feet, and you spend 24 hours a day with each other just looking into each other's eyes. Like there is a routine that has to go on in the relationship, especially as it matures. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. In that sense, you are overthinking this a little bit, because for everything else that's not maybe you guys going out to places and things like that, everything else is pretty straightforward. I mean, him introducing you to his family is way more important than him introducing you to his friends. Because if he's been divorced before, right? He's not introducing people to his family that he doesn't plan on building something with, because he's already been in a serious relationship. So his family knows the next person that they meet, it has to be someone that he actually is intending to build something with, or else this is pointless, right? And so I say that to say, if you're meeting his daughter, you already have met his daughter, you've already spent time with his daughter, you've already met his family, that is way more important than meeting his friends. I'm not going to say that it shouldn't be important to meet his friends, but as he's mentioned to you, he doesn't think most of those friends are even close friends to him, aside from these 2 friends that are close to him. So essentially what you're saying is the people that don't seem to matter that much in his life and are on his outer circle, you have not met. But the people who are, including his family and his close friends who are close to him in his life, you have met. That's like the most important people to meet in someone's life. So I say that, say you're in there. Like, I don't think that you have as much to worry about as you're imagining that you have to worry about. And as far as everything else, you said that he does a good job of not making you, you don't feel like he would ever cheat. You don't feel like anything's going on with any other girl, and you don't have any doubts about his how much he loves you, right? And it sounds like the rest of this is just your own feelings of, oh, well, there's got to be something. It's almost like you don't want to accept that it's just okay. And you have to understand that, like, building a relationship and growing in a relationship with someone, you can still make it exciting and interesting without it being like you guys are high school kids sneaking off into with your mom's car, seeing each other late at midnight. So rather than thinking about, oh, I'm scared that he'll find me boring and things like that, why don't you think about how to utilize the days that you have scheduled with each other to, like, you guys can do interesting things and spice it up. And instead of asking him to spice it up, why don't you think of things that you can bring to the table or you can do that would make it more interesting and stimulate that, you know what I mean? Stimulate that by starting that. Do something or bring an activity or something like that that makes it a little bit more interesting, and just be like, I just wanted to do this and try this. So we're trying this now. Okay? And you can make, if this is your boyfriend, right? If this was a random guy, I wouldn't say do this, but you can do things that make it more interesting if you feel like you're not being as interesting or he might get bored of you. Okay? But honestly, I don't think that that's the case. I think you're actually just overthinking the situation quite a bit, but I hope that helped you. Okay, so next we have here, let's see, so many. We are behind so much. Next we have here just a simple question. What are your thoughts about kissing on the first date? Okay, so I'll answer this pretty straightforward. I think we're all adults here. If you're under the age of 20, get out of here. You shouldn't be here. You don't belong here. You got to go read Pythagorean theorem and read your books, okay, before you get on my show. But in terms of everyone else, kissing on the first date is perfectly fine, okay? I don't want you guys to get too bogged down with all these extreme rules that you think that, oh my God, if I touch him on the first date, then he's going to think I'm a whore. No, okay? Just relax, okay? You can kiss him on the first date. I don't want you having pineapples with him or opening up your legs, right? Or doing anything with anything outside of kissing, right? So don't be doing nothing with your hands. Don't be doing nothing with your feet if you're weird or you have a little thing going on. Nothing with your feet, nothing with your hands, and the only thing you do with your mouth is kiss, okay? But don't be kissing in a place or in a way where it can lead to more and you're going to succumb to temptation. So what I mean by that is kissing him on the first date when you're out in public, perfectly fine. But if you're going to start kissing him at his house after the date, when you guys have had a couple bottles of wine, let's be so for real. You're going to put yourself in a bad position to make some mistakes. Okay. So I would advise against that. So next you say also first date tips in general. I think the most important first date tip I could possibly give you is to talk less and listen more and observe more. Come to the date with questions of information that you want to know. So specifically, you want to be asking about his exes. You want to be asking about his past relationships. You want to be getting a very, very clear understanding why his last relationship ended, how long it was, and where they stand now. Because some of you are building relationships with either emotionally unavailable men or men who are actively still having feelings for their partner. And you're basically wasting all of your time if you don't get an understanding of where things stand with him and his last relationship now, if you don't ask those questions, okay? So next you say, what do we do in case he is actively dating? Like, I don't want to date him. If he's still considering other options, you don't date him. You shouldn't be begging for any guy to date you. So if he's dating other people and you don't want to be an option, which you shouldn't want to be, you don't entertain that guy until he's ready to only date you. There's no reason to be doing that. Okay. You don't treat yourself as a second option. Have respect for yourself. Okay, H. Next here we have, let's see. We have Layla. Have I analyzed this situation? Okay, so Layla has... okay, Layla, I want you to... not that I don't want to answer your question. I'm going to save this here. but I want you to just send it as a normal, copy and paste that and put it in the chat here. Just because it's way harder to read this for everyone. It's very easy to follow along on the Discord. Okay. See, Annie, she's such a smart pupil. Annie had a crazy story yesterday, but she's such a smart pupil. See, I don't like to read these ones where it's like this, or right. You just copy and paste it in there. And if it's way longer than it needs to be, try and shorten it, because sometimes it's a better read if you just shorten it and get to the point. Okay. So please do that for me, Layla, and I'll answer your question. Okay. Next, we have Emma. Emma says, I need advice. By the way, if you guys send in a regular message like this, but you want to attach screenshots, that's totally fine. Just don't be sending your whole message in a PDF format or in a screenshot format. It's just a harder read. Emma says, hi, Tomisin. I am 25 and I need your help in the beginning. I wasn't looking for a serious relationship, and the same to him, so we slept together. Always a mistake, 100% of the time. However, now I feel bad about the situation because it seems like it's all about pineapples and nothing else. Okay, Emma. I don't think you've been listening to the show, because I just don't you're complaining about a situation that you put yourself in. I know it's a mistake. We all make mistakes. But if you weren't looking for something serious, then why are you confused why it's nothing serious? This is also why I tell all of you beautiful, amazing people, don't waste your time trying to think to yourself, I'm going to be more like the guys and have casual pineapples because I just want the pleasure. And, you know, my desire to have pleasure, I can detach my feelings from it and not care. Because this is the same situation you'll find yourself in, like Emma, thinking that at the beginning, I'm not looking for anything serious. I don't really care. Then as soon as you sleep together, and you sleep together for a while, now you care. You see how that works? Don't be trying to be like the men. Just be you. And the reality of it is, you as a woman, if you're sleeping with someone consistently, you're going to become attached to them. Let's just get over that reality. That way you can stop wasting your own time and putting yourself in precarious situations by sleeping with people thinking that, oh, I'm just going to do this for the sake of pleasure and not get attached, only to end up getting attached, but now you're frustrated, just like Emma. Okay? So now you feel bad that the situation seems to be only about pineapples and nothing else. This makes you feel worthless. Oh, shocker. You care now because you feel, right? You feel like your dignity has been lost because you just feel like a toy. You feel like he's literally just wanking himself inside of you and throwing you away, as if you don't matter. This is precisely why I say don't sacrifice pleasure for your self-respect and your dignity. Because at the end of the day, when you give away your mind, body, and soul to a guy and he discards of you, or he doesn't seem like he even cares about you or is invested in you, that's going to be painful. You're a human being with feelings and emotions. Nobody likes to feel used. Okay, especially when it's not in a dirty way, right? It's not dirty talk or something like that. Nobody likes to actually feel used. Okay, nobody likes to feel worthless. So why put yourself in that position? That's only where how are you expecting, I don't want it to be serious, and then you're expecting that, hey, I'm mad that it doesn't feel serious. So we've been together for 6 months, so 6 months of you wasting your time. And sometimes we go without contact. Why would you contact each other? It's all about the pineapples. It's not serious, right? And I don't chase him simply, I don't chase him, I simply do the same. Every time he tries to get me, I always show up. And I do the same. But when it comes to financial issues, he says things are not good for him and he can't help. Emma, are you expecting a guy who's friends with benefits to send you money or pay for things? Emma, I know you're smarter than that. I would hope you're not expecting a guy who you're friends with benefits with to be sending you money or paying for things when he's already getting that Squirtle for free. Emma, you're smarter than that. I hope that's not what you're trying to say here. This makes me feel unappreciated. I want to end things because this isn't what I want. But at the same time, I'm attached to him. You see why we have these discussions, guys? It's not because I like to pull stuff out of my butt and I like to hear myself yap. It's because I actually understand. I go through this, and I also have friends that have gone through this, but I also understand where choices can lead you. And anytime you're looking for short-term pleasure or short-term happiness, you're always going to be doing that at the detriment of your long-term happiness. And it always works out the same way. Because just like Emma, who made a decision at the beginning, right? In the beginning, right? Looking out for her short-term happiness, only to end up in the future upset at the decision she made for her short-term happiness, because for her long-term happiness, she was not happy. I'm feeling really conflicted and don't know what to do. The very simple answer, Emma, is cut this relationship out of your life. You've already established a dynamic in which he can sleep with you for absolutely nothing, with absolutely no commitment, and you've made it clear that you're okay with that. So I'm going to be honest with you. By the time you try to stand up for yourself and tell him how he's not getting any more access to you unless he commits to you, you're going to realize very quickly and very painfully that he has no interest in you outside of sleeping with you. So rather than even put yourself through that amount of pain, just go ahead, cut the relationship off and start putting some energy into yourself. And then when you start building new relationships with new people, a new guy, I want you to be very clear on what you want from the beginning. Meaning, you want to feel like you're cared for. You want to feel like you're worth something. You want to feel appreciated. So do not be putting yourself in a position where everything is not that serious or not that deep. Make the relationship deep from the very beginning. That way, when you're 6 months in, you'll feel appreciated instead of feeling unappreciated. You'll feel good instead of feeling not good, right? Right? Or being attached to someone who doesn't care about you. Very simple concept, Emma. Okay? Cut that off and start building from the beginning as if it's serious. Don't build for your short-term happiness. Next, we have here Pura Vida. Pura Vida asks, Tomisin mentions a wait until he comes back around. Pura Vida says, what exactly are we waiting for? If it wasn't following well the first time, so my second question is, do we give them another shot at courting? What you're waiting for is you're waiting for him to apologize to you. So what I mean by waiting for, I think you're referring to yesterday's live stream in which I talked about how to get your power back. What you're waiting for is you're waiting for him to come to the realization that how he's treating you or how he's been treating you is not how he should be treating someone who he wants to be in a relationship with. And so if he's going to want to actually be in a relationship with you and be in one with you for real, he's going to have to actually show commitment, show consistency, just do the relationship differently. That is what you're waiting for him to come to that realization and actually take action on that. If you're talking about getting your power back and things like that. And so That's only going to come when he actually genuinely comes to that realization and he actually comes up with real action on how he's going to make that a reality, make you guys being in a serious relationship a reality. Now, what I want you to understand is throughout this process, there's going to be a lot of you that find yourself in a situation where you realize the guy is not interested in making this a reality. He's only interested in getting the easiest possible access to you that he can. And if you're going to make him work for it, he's uninterested in you and uninterested in that. That some of you are going to come to that realization. I need you to understand that. Okay. So, your second question is, do we give them another shot at courting? Yes, if they come correctly. Right? You're not just giving a yapper who's going to tell you, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do better." You don't give that person a second chance. You give someone who comes to you genuinely apologizing for what they did, acknowledging what they did, and then having some sort of plan or course of action on how this won't be the case for the future. I promise you, the guys who are actually interested in you will be able to do this. The guys who are not that interested in you won't even care enough to do this. Okay, so that's the painful reality. Next, we have here, will the player get played? Okay, Venus says, "Hi, Tomisin. I'm a 20-year-old female getting to know a 21-year-old man. We are both university students, and we live inside the same dormitory. In the university, I'm known as the hard-to-get girl because despite guys showing interest, I tend to mostly shut them down. To give you a quick backstory, I had dated a guy, my first boyfriend, and I was taken advantage of emotionally. I know I'm quite picky when it comes to guys, but once I like a guy, I tend to be overly loyal." Overly loyal? That's a thing? Kind and forgiving. Overly kind and overly forgiving is a thing for sure. I broke up with him after 6 months because he disrespected me by pushing my boundaries. After that, I decided to take a break and heal myself, staying single for about a year. This all sounds good. We'll call the main guy in my story Roy. Roy is a known player in my university. I just don't get when you start the whole story off with this premise. Why don't you think about this when you're starting off your relationship with him? Let's go on. Roy is a known player in my university. He's quite attractive, 6'2", well built, and a major red flag. I thought you said you spent some time healing. Heal? Okay. At least that's how he seems. We are both foreign students living in China. Okay. So you're rich, that's what you're saying. Because foreign exchange students, yeah. Roy was known to be dating this Chinese girl. She's also quite attractive and very tall. And he is kind of he kind of has a side chick. So he's got a girl and then he's got a side chick. So where do you come in? Though from his perspective, she's following him and is desperate for his attention. I remember when I was with my ex, we used to go to nightclubs together and I would see Roy dancing with his side chick. You're paying attention that hard? I used to get disgusted by that because I was aware that he's in a relationship with the Chinese girl. So how does he fit into your story if he's so disgusting to you? Fast forward to now, almost 2 years since we both come to China. Suddenly, we had a volleyball match with all the students from my country, and he was there too. We happened to interact a bit. It was just playful at first, but then he pulled me aside and started to get a bit deep, asking me what characteristics of a man, what are the characteristics of a man for me. I answered honestly and truthfully before I came across your channel, because now I know I shouldn't say everything that I want in a man and keep it vague so that I don't get manipulated. See how that works? Somehow after this conversation around 11 p.m., we had to go back to the dormitory since we had curfew at 11 p.m. He tells me, let's continue our talk because I'm really intrigued and would like to get to know more. I told him it's a bit late now, we can talk another day, but he proceeds to insist, promising that he'll send me to sleep in a bit. I go back to my dorm, proceed to do my nighttime skincare, and we meet up again on the balcony of the dormitory. This does not sound like it's going in a place where it should be going. He first starts with showing his interest in getting to know me on a deeper level. That's how it always starts. He's a pro. He doesn't shy away from stating his desire and intent of wanting to find someone to be in a relationship with. That's exactly what he should say to you to make you feel comfortable and get your guard down. This is like textbook. I know this because I've done this. Is textbook. I respond by asking him, but aren't you already in a relationship? He tells me, do you mean with the Chinese girl? I say yes. He then proceeds to explain his relationship, saying it's purely beneficial for both sides. He says they're both learning different languages from each other and obviously for pineapples as well, despite him not saying that. And that he doesn't see himself pursuing a Chinese girl or any other foreign girl seriously with marriage in mind. You're a Chinese girl, aren't you? He tells me he can only marry a girl with the same nationality as him. I'm going to go ahead and assume you're the same nationality as him. I know you are. You said it. So I then ask him about his dynamic with the other girls who's from the same nationality as us. He tells me that she has been chasing him for the past year, clinging to him and trying everything to get his validation. So I asked him, why do you entertain it? He tells me that he's a guy, and if she was that willing to give herself, then why would he reject that? Oh, actually, I really want to point this out to you guys because I see a lot of you ask me this question. Why do guys use us, or why do guys take advantage of us, or why can't guys just tell us exactly what it is? Why do they have to lie and manipulate? Or why don't they tell us that they're not actually here for anything except for pineapples? This is exactly why. And you're hearing it not just from me, but you're hearing it in a story from another guy as well, right? If you as the girl are going to let yourself be taken advantage of and let yourself be used and walked all over and manipulated and all that good stuff, the guys think to themselves, well, if you're offering me everything for free and I have to give you nothing in return, why would I reject that? You're giving it to me for free. I'll take your free offer and I'll use it to my advantage. I always tell you guys that. So don't be confused why the guys are just allowing you to make a fool out of yourself, because you're allowing yourself to be made a fool out of. Okay. He also proceeds to tell me that he wasn't interested in her because she was desperate and way too available. So everything that I tell you guys basically didn't have any boundaries nor self-respect. You see what I mean? This is like almost like she's like, oh, this guy is showing you exactly why everything we talk about is facts. Because guys don't like or respect girls who don't respect themselves. Guys don't like the girls who are always available. They find those girls repulsive and uninteresting. Mind you, she's extremely attractive. You see, it's literally everything I've been saying. I tell you guys all the time, it's not about your dump truck. It's not about your yitties. It's not about your beautiful smile. None of that actually matters. Getting guys to desire you is about the way you present yourself and being unavailable and being strategic about what you say and how you carry yourself, that you can be desirable to him. Having the biggest dump truck or the most voluptuous cities is not going to make him desire you more. And if you do all the other things wrong, you're still going to be unattractive to him. A very beautiful female with a perfectly proportioned body, is tall and looks literally like a model. He also tells me that his type is usually different from me physically wise. He's into tall girls while I'm 5 foot, but I'm still quite attractive, I promise. You got that, Dumpy? He also says that the reason he wants to get to know me is because he's interested in my mind and how I think. At first, I was touched in a way, but then I felt a bit insulted. Why did you feel insulted? After Roy expressed his interest in getting to know me better, despite his involvement with the Chinese girl and the persistent side chick, I shared my concerns. This is where it starts going left. I told him directly that I'm uncomfortable getting involved with him while he's still in a relationship, even if he claims it's just casual. Excuse me. Roy's response caught me off guard. Instead of understanding my perspective, he brushed off my worries, saying that there's no need to worry about it. But when I reiterated my discomfort, he reacted aggressively, telling me he doesn't like repeating himself. In that moment, his defensiveness and refusal to have an open discussion about my valid concerns really gave me a pause. It made me question whether Roy was truly has the emotional maturity and communication skills to be in a healthy relationship. This is a valid analyzation. You seem pretty intelligent here, so I'm wondering how this goes wrong. However, the very next day, Roy reached out to me again, wanting to talk more. The sudden shift left me feeling conflicted. Part of me is still intrigued by Roy. He is undeniably charming, intelligent, and attractive, but his player reputation and his initial defense reaction make me incredibly hesitant to trust that he won't end up hurting me. He's always boasting about how he has to be on top of everything and everyone. This really worries me. What if he's only interested in me as some kind of challenge he wants to conquer? I'm afraid that he might just see me as another trophy to add to his collection, rather than someone he genuinely cares about. The question remains, will the player ultimately get played, or will I end up being the one who gets played? I'm so torn over what to do. Parts of me wants to give this a chance, but I've been played before and I refuse to go through that again. I almost feel like I should try to make him anxious and desperate, give him a taste of his own medicine. But then I also worry that he might actually be interested in me for the right reasons. And then there's the side chick to think about. She has a huge crush on Roy for over a year now, and she consistently is telling everyone how much she loves him. I even tried to tell her before that she deserves so much better. Why? Why would you do that? I just feel like I'd be portraying her if I got involved with him. I don't know. Maybe it's wrong of me to even consider this. I guess I'm just really torn. Please tell me if you think it's smart to go through with this, and how I should approach the situation, taking into consideration his player ways and the fact that I need to make him beg and work for it. I apologize for the lengthy message, but I hope you'll offer honest, even ruthless thoughts. Your insights will be invaluable. I'm grateful for your candor, your time and candor, whatever your reflections may be. I wish you a lovely day. Oh, I forgot to mention something else. The day after he reacted aggressively to my concern about getting to know him whilst he's in a relationship, he went and broke up with the Chinese girl. I don't think he lied, because some people have confirmed this. That last part's pretty interesting. Okay, so I actually think what you need to do is very simple. Do nothing. I know this sounds pretty cut and dry for all that you messaged me, but you have to understand all that he's saying to you, how much he wants to be with you and how much he's intrigued by you and he wants to get to know you and you're not like the other girls. That's great. That sounds great in a notebook. That sounds great in a Disney princess movie. But let's see how much he really means that. See, you're in a perfect position here. He has been the one to tell you that he sees you as interesting and desires you. So you don't have to do anything. You sit back, you relax, and you say, okay, show me how much you desire me. You don't ask of him anything. You don't ask him to break up with the Chinese girl. You don't ask him to let go of the side chick. This is why I also say, don't talk to the side chick. Okay? Look, the queen does not concern herself with peasants. Do you understand that? The queen does not concern herself with peasants. If this is a side chick, you don't have any association to her. You don't acknowledge her existence. She doesn't matter to you. Okay? If you're the girl that he wants, you don't concern yourself with the side chick. She's of no concern to you. Don't speak to her. Don't address her. Don't acknowledge her. Nothing. You do nothing with her. Okay? She is irrelevant to you. And as it relates to him, if he really wants you that badly, let him show you that. Don't ask him to do anything for you. Let him be the one to show you how badly he wants you by getting on his hands and knees, crawling on glass, and trying to sniff your butthole. Okay? And until he does that, that is the only time you will even consider being interested in him back. That's how you have to treat this. So what I would advise you to do is, if he's already on the path of kind of chasing after you and pursuing you, let him keep doing that. And in fact, what I want you to do is make it even harder for him to chase and pursue after you by making yourself even more available. So next time when he wants to meet you on the balcony after curfew, it's a no. You tell him he's got a plan with you. You're only free a couple days in advance. Right? And if he wants to start texting you and calling you a bunch, no, you ain't got time for that. You got stuff to study for. Okay? You got a schedule, you got friends to hang out with. You're not going to be texting and calling a whole bunch. Now, if he says he wants to take you out, cool. Okay, you can take me out in 3 days when I'm free. Not today, not right now, and not in this second. I'm not going to meet you tonight. No more last minute hangouts. No more impromptu this and that. If he wants to talk to you and he gets to know you, he can plan it in advance, a couple of days in advance. And then if you're free, you'll do that. You don't reach out, you don't call, you don't ask of him anything. And you definitely do not acknowledge the side chick. Don't speak to her about nothing. Okay, you don't concern yourself with that. And then let's see where he goes from there. You see, once you leave him to make his decision on what he wants to do, he'll show you exactly what he wants to do. It'll be a very simple answer. Okay. And if he doesn't do that, then there you go. You have your true answer. Let's do another one here. So Teddy says, a quick one. Tomisin, do you wear linen? If yes, what's your favorite color? If no, why? Linen, I'm trying to think what material linen is. Linen's not, is that like the slick material? I usually, if I do wear linen, it's usually only on a boat. I believe the linen I'm thinking of, it's usually only on a boat, and I usually only do white. I don't usually wear too much. Linen's not really part of my wardrobe. Okay. My favorite colors of linen, or just in general, my favorite color in general is red. My favorite red is not my favorite color to wear though. My favorite color to wear is actually beige or brown or tan. Not brown the same color as me brown, but like a light tan, like a beige. Beige basically my favorite color to wear. But red's just my favorite color in general. Okay. Let's do one more here. That one was obviously really short. Next we have, okay, let's see how long this one is. If this is short, okay, we can do this one. So we'll do Effie or Elfie. Elfie? Ify. Ify? Ify. Elfie? I don't know. Elfie. We'll go with Elfie. Love bombing or actual interest and healthy connection. So Elfie says, hello, dear Tomisin. Hello, dear Elfie. I'm 24. First of all, your video saved me. You're welcome. Your instructions and explanations have helped me build my standards and boundaries. I'm so glad. Hence, I am now dating a 26-year-old man who does it all and is obsessed with me, and I don't have to do anything or be confused. It's easy being with him. I'm so glad that you got that. We've been knowing each other from school 7 years now, but we never went on a date. He was always trying to get my attention, talk to me, and go out with me, but I guess I'm not ready for him. I was not ready for him, sorry. I literally did not care much about him, but he remembers everything about me. Also, so many years, once again, he reached out. I think you must say, after so many years, he reached out. And he did this 1 to 2 years in a very kind manner, telling me he'd like to go out with me because he's interested. I decided to finally go out on the date with him. Since then, these things are going well. I have established my boundaries. I don't do anything to chase him. We always go out on dates, and I don't plan on meeting him behind closed doors yet. He gives me the princess treatment, and we always have deep conversation. It's the first time someone brings out my most feminine side. We share the same feelings for each other, but I do have to admit he's more obsessed with me, which is what I like. We've been dating for a month, but we also have some deep conversations on the phone. We don't talk on text, but he likes to call me and share his thoughts or talk about something personal or serious. Okay, this all sounds really good. He really pursues me, and we bring out the best in each other. And I know it's too early to say, but I'm not in a rush, and I want to see consistency within a year to determine if he's husband material. However, a lot is happening emotionally wise. I'm the one who holds back to make sure I'm always the black cat in the relationship. I like him more than I planned. He has exceeded my expectations, but I'm keeping an eye on it. Is this normal? How can I delay having pineapples? The attraction is strong, but I want to delay it as much as possible. Thank you. Okay, this is great. I'm so glad, Elfie, you messaged me before you did this, because this is right around where a lot of you are making mistakes. See, things start going good and you really start liking the guy and he's showing you everything that you wanted to see in a relationship. And so what happens is your attachment to him grows, and now you feel like, okay, I really I like you now, and I want to be with you now, and this is going really well. I feel like I got to do something for you. I feel like I got to give something to you. I feel like if I don't give something to you, maybe you might become uninterested, and I really want to be with you, and I really want this to work out, right? The anxiety starts to build. And when your anxiety starts to build, you feel the need to do more things, right? Right? You're scared that he might lose interest in you, and you want this relationship to work out. And then now you start doing more. And lo and behold, it only ends up in him becoming less interested in you, because you're starting to switch the dynamic from him chasing and pursuing you to you chasing and pursuing him. So I know, listen, I understand it's natural when you're becoming closer to someone, you're going to have those urges. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have urges or it's bad to have urges and want to actually be intimate with him on a deeper level. That's not a bad thing. But I want you to delay your own and his gratification for as long as possible, like you were just saying, because I want you to understand right now, you're already getting everything that you want and things are going so well. So there's no need to switch up anything you're doing. Just keep on the path of that and let him say to himself, I want you so badly. You have to be my girlfriend. Let him get to that point and then say, okay, clearly we've met some sort of threshold here. Now I can at least feel comfortable that if I give myself to you, you have some level of commitment to me, right? And desire to be committed to me. Because if he's doing all this for you with no kind of pineapples in sight, right? Or no mention of we're going to have pineapples in the near future, then that's good. That means he's willing to be patient. So don't literally mess it up by giving yourself unnecessary anxiety when he's not even the one that's putting that pressure on you. Don't put that pressure on yourself when he's perfectly content and fine and relaxed with just waiting for you and allowing your relationship to grow. Because from what you said, it doesn't seem like he's the one saying, clock's ticking. When are we going to have pineapples? It seems like now that you like him more, you're the one putting that pressure on yourself. So don't literally self-sabotage what's going well in your relationship by hurrying up and having pineapples with him when you're already getting everything that you want and desire in the relationship. Just keep it going. And if you want real direct advice, my advice to you would be, let him commit to you and say, I want you to be my girlfriend, and then go ahead and have pineapples. Okay? Because then you're 100% sure that this came because he wanted to be committed to you, and that's what he wanted. And the fact that he wanted that level of commitment to you at least is a sign that he's prepared to build with you, not just extract something from you. Then you can at least feel safe that giving yourself to him, you're giving yourself to someone who is actually trying to build something with you and go somewhere with it, not just abandon you once he doesn't get what he wants from you. Does that make sense? Okay. So that was all the questions I'm going to do for today. If I didn't answer your question, don't fret. I will answer your question tomorrow. I'm here every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So your question will get answered. If you didn't send yours in and you want to send yours in, feel free to go up into the link in my bio where you can send in your question in the Discord. Or if you're on TikTok, or if you're on YouTube, go down into the link in the description where you can find the link to my Discord, and you can ask my question in the relationship advice section. Okay, make sure you ask it in the right section and in the right format. All right. If you are wondering what my Instagram is and you want to go follow me and see everything I've been doing up until this point and see what I'm like and all that good stuff, you can go head over to my Instagram. It's right on the top of my head on the left side of the screen there. And you can find that and follow me and scroll through my Instagram, see everything I've been doing from now since you met me. Okay. If you're on YouTube, it's at the bottom right there as well. If you're on TikTok and you love this show so much and you want to rewatch it, you came late or you came early and you left early, and you want to rewatch the show and see all the previous live streams that I've done, you just head over to my YouTube. It's right on the top right there, and you can copy and paste that YouTube in the chat. In the YouTube search bar. Copy and paste my name, or you can just type it in and you'll find my YouTube channel. Go in the live section and you'll be able to find this live stream along with all my previous live streams. In the video, the TikTok and the YouTube live chat will be embedded in there, so you'll be able to see that as part of the stream, so you won't miss anything. Okay, like I said, I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, so that is when you will catch me tomorrow. Okay, until then, arrivederci, au revoir, goodbye, hasta la vista. I love you so much, and I appreciate you guys waiting with me and being patient with me through the technical difficulties. I will see you tomorrow.